just the two of us. I'll take us out to celebrate with you.
Oh, that sounds fun. Hey, how is everybody today? You guys caught us right in the middle of nothingness and just celebrating and talking and having fun. Today, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center for Practical Spirituality. And yes, Miss Mary Jane, I think that would be a great thing. Let's see how we can do that, right? So, today is November 2nd. If you're wondering, what is Katrina wearing? Well, let me show you something. Okay, so I think I can do it. I think I can.
Gorgeous.
There we go. There we go. See? That isn't that beautiful, Kayan? So Kayan, one of the parishioners, she went ahead and she brought in that beautiful Dia de los Muertos skull, and it's lit and everything else. And so, of course, Katrina, because of the fact that my name is what? Katrina, I went ahead and I decided to also put on the crown and make sure that I was celebrating today. You know, before we continue, and do anything, let us go ahead and do our statement of being. God is all, both visible and invisible, one presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And so it is. And so it is. Let me go ahead and kind of tell you guys a little bit about, the symbolism of La Katrina, okay? Or El Catrín, okay? So El Catrín y La Katrina are really symbols of aristocratic and very well-dressed people. But we go further, and let me explain the symbology or the symbol of equality. La Katrina reminds people that in death, all earthly riches and social status are meaningless, and everyone will meet their fate. Ah, fregado. So, in a nutshell, the only thing we truly are just the bones. The skin, will eventually fade. It's kind of like can get really nice and, kind of like just change. And we take absolutely nothing with us to the other side. The only thing that we're going to take with us is our soul. So that's why uplifting the soul is so important. Why it is vitally important. And today, I'm going to go over, Mary Jane happened to send me the days and what you do and everything in Spanish, and I happened to find them in English. So let me go ahead and share with you the symbology, okay? And the altar timeline. So on October the 26th, the first candle is lit and the bowl of water placed to welcome the pet souls. It is said that the souls arrive on the 27th. So on the 26th, you put out your candle, you put out your little bowls for water for the souls of our pets. So on October the 27th, we welcome our deceased pets. On October the 28th, the very first human candle is lit and white flower is placed to welcome the lost souls. People remembered those that died tragically due to violence or accidents. October the 29th, the next candle is lit and the glass of water is placed for the forgotten souls, those who no longer have anyone to pray for them or anyone that drowned. That's for the 29th. For the 30th, the next candle is lit and the glass of water is placed for the lost or the lonely souls and for anyone that is departed without having eaten. A pan de muerto is placed. And of course, we're going to always end up doing, the semita, la pan de semita, el cuernito, la concha, different, what am I want a regalo. If you guys don't know what the regalo is, that is it looks like a piece of cake, and it's brown and it's toasty on the top, and then it has a whole bunch of either pumpkin or sweet potato, and it's in between. That one's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. Okay, so then we go from the 30th to the 31st. The next candle is lit and a glass of water is placed for the innocent souls or the souls of children. Sweets and candies or fruit along with pan de muerto is placed, all in preparation for All Saints' Day. November 1st, All Saints' Day. Souls who died as children arrive on this day. All food, water, and loved ones' keepsakes are placed on the altar. Candles and incense are lit for adults in preparation for All Souls' Day. And then, preparation for All Souls' Day, you can also be made at the cemetery to help souls transfer between worlds. How about that? Today, on All Souls' Day, all faithful departed souls arrive to visit, collect, and eat what their loved ones have placed. A white candle is placed to light their way back because they will be returning. And then on November 3rd, which will be tomorrow, the altar is removed. What a beautiful tradition, so that we can remember once again. What do we remember? And I'm going to say it. I'm going to repeat it. La Katrina reminds people that death and earthly riches and society and social statuses are meaningless, and everyone will meet the same fate, a symbol of equality. So every time that you see La Katrina, you're going to remember the equality that is there, okay? So let's go ahead and keep on going. You know, you never know what's going to happen here at Center for Practical Spirituality. If we're going to be talking about the aliens that are coming by 2027, or if we're going to be talking about the dead that are here, or if we're going to be talking about the, the different, right now we're in Mercury in retrograde. So be patient, be wise. It's kind of like, for some reason or another, communication doesn't come through very quickly. So just know that we're always, or we're going to be talking about Diwali. We just had Diwali, which is, say it for me, KN, Diwali is?
It's the Festival of Lights.
The Festival of Lights.
And light triumphed over darkness.
And that light triumphs over darkness. That is Diwali. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and go straight into our wonderful Uplifting the Soul lesson, okay? So, be patient, be patient. Patience is a virtue, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get straight into this. Yes. Okay, for something in you dies when you bear the unbearable. And it is only in that dark night of the soul that you are prepared to see as God sees and to love as God loves. Ram Dass. It is in the darkness of the soul whenever we are, and I remember going through a dark time of the soul for myself. And on the other side, in spite of it all, I'm still thriving. I'm still surviving. I'm still going forward. So now, Ernest Holmes, from The Science of Mind, 1926 edition, page 162, says, the illusion is the way we look at things. We have looked at some things and they have loved evil, and they looked evil to us. We are to look at them until they look good. Once again, let us look at those things that we consider as evil, and let's look at them until they look good. Now, before we continue, I have to find, I just remembered I have my scripture, but I have it written over here. So hold on. And so in scripture, let me find it real quick. Here we go. In wisdom, okay? In Wisdom 3:1-8, it says the following, and it's really honing in with Dia de los Muertos as well. And it says, the souls of the just are in the hands of God, and no torment shall touch them. Their hope is full of immortality. Once again, Wisdom 3:1-9. So if you're wondering, Wisdom 3:1-9. Wisdom, the book of Wisdom, is what I'm reading from.
Oh, okay.
The soul. Oh, sorry, KN, it's not in here. I went somewhere else. Sorry. And the souls of the just are in the hands of God, and no torment shall touch them. Their hope is full of immortality. This truly emphasizes the peace of the departed with God. You know, isn't that neat how wisdom shows us and talks to us about the soul of the just are in the hands of God, and no torment shall touch them. Their hope is full of immortality. And this is Wisdom 3:1-9. And it continues here, and so we'll continue with our Bear the Unbearable. And the author of this particular reflection stated the following: I remember something ancient within me. I know how to bear the unbearable. This remembrance whispers, you were born for this. Not born to suffer, but born to transmute, born to expand beyond the illusion of separation and reclaim the truth of my bodhisattva. Nature. Anyways, okay, it's BODHISATTVA. Right now, I just don't know how to pronounce it, and I will learn, so just be patient with me. Thank you. Okay, it's compassion in motion. And the author is inviting us to do the following. I release the part of me that believes in the weight of limitation. In its place rises a remembrance of my infinite self, opening wider than any sorrow. My hands become extension of love. My feet, pathways of service. My heart, an altar where pain transforms. As in the Buddhist practice, the Tonglen meditation, I draw into the altar of my heart those who are grieving and frightened. As Jesus became a conduit for absolving human forgetfulness, as Amma, the hugging saint, who is Hindu, by the way, embraces and absorbs the burdens of those she holds, and as the Indian sadhus eats the karma of those trapped in the illusion of duality, so too do I enter the consciousness of the one and emit it through every thought, every word, and every deed. In one sentence, we just touched upon how many different religions? 3, 4, 5? Ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and say this. We are all, every single one of us, it's kind of like we are all headed to God, okay? We are all wanting to be with God. It just depends on what vehicle you're going to be using, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I mean, what vehicle? I know I love a Toyota Tacoma. One of my aunts, she's like, Katrina, why are you driving a truck? Oh my goodness, why don't you get yourself a Lincoln? Why don't you get yourself a Cadillac? Because I don't like them. They're just not for me, you know? And so, in many senses, it's kind of like we all have different, you know, choices. We all love certain things. We're not all made or built the same. Can you imagine more little Katrinas out there just like me?
Oh, God.
That's what I say. Oh, my goodness. You know, I mean, it wouldn't be bad. And, you know, I do have some little mini me's out there, by the way. I have some minions. I really, really do. I have certain, you know, people or students of mine that are out there in the world from different things that I actually taught. You know, one was Strengths Quest. The other one was in reference to chaplaincy and hospice. Another one. So there's different facets of Katrina out there. But there's only one me. There's only one me. You know, and to duplicate me would be something of like, oh no, you know, it's kind of like you meet certain people and you're like, no, we can only handle one of that person. We don't need any more of them. And I know that that is a gift that I possess. It's kind of like, you know, we want to continue to understand that, you know, the things that I like doesn't mean that somebody else is going to like the same thing. And therefore, we're all going to get from point A to point B in different vehicles. That means in different spiritual, religious vehicles. So one person, you know, I'm going to say this. It's kind of like, I'm going to bring it up. I'm just going to say it out loud. Why is it that the temple of Satan, the satanic temple is doing, what do you call it? A food drive. Yes, by the way, I read this. I mean, they're doing a food drive because they know that certain things are about to happen. And so right now I'm going to say what I said earlier. Well, we thank God for them. Why not? They're doing something good.
That's right. Very needed right now.
And very needed. So once again, we're being invited. Ernest Holmes, A Science of Mind, 1926 edition. 1926! This was still the 20th century. We are now in the 21st century, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it right, okay? We're in the 21st century. And the invitation back in 1926 is being done once again in 2025. And I am the one that's saying this out loud. We have looked at some things and they have looked evil to us. We are to look at them until they looked good, until they look good. And right now, that particular temple looks what? Looks good. Because they are collecting food for the needy. They are being kind to the less fortunate. Some things that certain Christians aren't doing. Oops, did I say that out loud? Me and all my bright colors. Okay, let's keep going. So in that particular wonderful little paragraph that I read in reference to all the different ways upon which we're feeling, sensing, and absorbing the power and the wonderful light of God, you know, we were being invited to understand that we are being, you know, kind of nurtured into, you know, take whichever road you want to take, but whichever, you know, religious belief, whatever spiritual tool that you want to use, but use it and get to a higher understanding of consciousness and awareness, because infinite intelligence is inviting us to understand that we are to go beyond the limitations that we as human beings have placed upon each person and upon ourselves. The author of this particular reflection says, I anchor in these eternal truths. Eternal truths, ladies and gentlemen. Even in the apparent absence of wholeness, there is what? Wholeness. Even in the apparent absence of solutions, there is a what?
Solution.
A solution. Even in the apparent absence of right action, there is still what? Right action. Even in the apparent absence of love, there is and always will be love. When we feel that there is the absence of our loved one, in reality, they are right there. They're right here. You know? Just because we do not touch them physically doesn't mean that in the ethers that they're not there. That in that vast, unlimited beauty of infinite intelligence, the creator of all, that's where we are all present. There is nothing lost in divine mind, not one single thing. Today, on Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead, the invitation is for us to embrace this particular invitation. This is, I am willing to see God in all things. I am willing to see God in all things. And in all things, God is. Our heart's desire is God's desire. And God's desire is our what? Heart's desire. There is no separation between us and God. There is no separation between us and our loved ones. There is no separation between myself and, you know, the person that may be on the other side of, you know, 410 that I was thinking about earlier today, and all of a sudden they reached out. Or, for instance, that I was thinking about this particular person and all of a sudden they text. See, there is no separation. Everything is what? Everything is energy. So today, our ancestors are inviting us to remember them. We are the ones that continue the legacies that they have shared with us. So who's picking up the legacy for you? Who is picking up, you know, I wrote down my mother's recipe for tamales. I wrote down my mother's recipe for buñuelos. I wrote down all of the different recipes that I loved as a young girl. On occasion, I'm able to make them. There are sometimes that I'm not. And to be honest with you, it's kind of like I don't foresee myself sharing it with very many other people. But I know that my parents influenced others out there. How do I know this? I happen to be in Pearsall. Check this out. I happened to be in Pearsall, and I bumped into one of my parents' compadres, right? And I was with my aunt and uncle. So we were sitting at Garcia's, which is a restaurant in Pearsall, Texas. The man walks in, says hello to my uncle, says, you know, kind of like, hello, hello, but did not recognize me at first. The man is leaving, right? And so then he says goodbye to my uncle and says goodbye to my aunt. And so then we kind of stop him, and he is, you know, I kind of like just sat there, you know, and just looked at him. And so then my uncle says to the man, you know, do you know who this is? And he kept looking at me and just looking at me. And then he goes, oh, I know exactly who you are. I go and I see your dad every week. And I just sat there, and we all were like, I said, you do know my dad is gone now for like almost 13, 14. He goes, yes. He goes, but I go visit your parents all the time. And I just kept looking at him like, what? What? He goes, I go to the cemetery. And I was like, oh. So then we all took a breath. Because at that point we knew that he was sane. But you know that he said, he goes, I go and I visit your parents all the time. He goes, they meant everything to me. Your mother was always giving me great advice. Your father was such a good friend. He goes, oh, and by the way, he goes, man, that tombstone is great. It's beautiful. Oh, and I also visit your husband. Oh, okay. I said, well, thank you. He goes, and you look great. He goes, that white hair looks fantastic on you. I said, oh, thank you. And then he took off. Tell him hello, so on and so forth. And at that precise moment, all of a sudden, I realized my parents' legacy continues. My parents influenced so many different people. Our loved ones are never far from us. Ever. I mean, ever, you know. So today, if you get a chance, do exactly what, you know, today is a day that you light everything and you put everything out. And let me put my glasses back on because, you know, it's kind of like, hey, what can I tell you? I need the glasses every once in a while. So today is a day, November 2nd, all faithfully departed souls arrive to visit, collect, and eat what their loved ones have placed. A white candle is placed to light their way back. Don't forget the ofrenda, you know, pan de muerto. You put something there, their picture. It's so that we remember them. Remember them. And remember those that no longer have, you know, anybody to go and to say hello to. You know, just remember them. Remember those that have left, but they are still inspiring each and every one of us to greatness. With that said, I hope and pray that you have a beautiful, beautiful day, remembering your loved ones and all the beautiful gifts that they gave to you today and always. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here at Center for Practical Spirituality, where you just never know what you're going to be hearing about. If it's not Jesus, it's going to be Amma. If it's not Amma, it's going to be Buddha. If it's not Buddha, it's going to be Krishna. If it's not Krishna, it's going to be, you know, I mean, God only knows. It's kind of like I have introduced so many different modalities, so many different ways of being able to get in touch with yourself and with your soul, because that is the only thing we're going to have whenever we leave this world. So with that said, let us hold our tithes, our offerings, and our prayer requests in our hands, and let us say together, divine love in me, as me, and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And so it is. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one. I'm ready to experience one. I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is opened all the way. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle today. Very good, very good. Yay! I love you guys. We'll see each other next week. Bye.